Hey guys, Robert here. Thought I'd do something unusual for you. I'd do a Tuesday tip. So, it has been a while, hasn't it? Man, I tell you, my plan this year for 2024 was to do more videos. I'm not coming out of the gate very strong, am I? So, here's what I thought we would do today. So, my friends at DAC, Data Activation Center, they I've been working with them a little bit on, with the data cards and stuff. So most of you are familiar with the DAC SIM cards. So Data Activation Center, they do data only plans, right? So I'm working with them on some stuff right now to hopefully get me some AT&T static SIM cards. They tell me we're just a breath away from having static AT&T cards, which I need for some other things that I wanted to show you guys. But what I wanted to do was, I was at Walmart the other day, and I stumbled across, they've got that, those cellular phones and stuff over there, right? The pay-as-you-go things. So I was in there, and I ran across this. And I thought, got a great idea for a video. So I decided to buy one of these things, and I'm going to show you guys how to install a DAC SIM card into it and get it set up, and I'm going to show you how to make all this work with an R12. So you can use an R12 as a cellular base station. You can either use the IBSS, or my setup, I've got the streaming manager thing. I've probably got about 150 people on my server, and I do a lot of cell phone based rover. I hate radio. In 2013, when they did the narrow banding on the radios, they just killed us. Our range is horrible now. I mean, if you get, even with the internal, I've gotten 2 miles before from this receiver, but most of the time you've got some kind of interference if you're in town, and if you get a mile, sometimes you're doing good. That's why I like going cell phone, because cell phone I don't have to worry about it. As long as I've got cellular service, it doesn't make any difference what kind of obstructions or anything else, or what kind of terrain or anything. As long as I got cellular service, it's working. So, and I've had some people tell me that on my streaming manager that they get better initialization in hostile environments, trees, things of that nature, with the cellular than they do with the radio. Now, I don't know how that's possible, but that's what they've told me. So, what I thought we would do today is we would open this thing up. This was $50, by the way. Like, no taxes, $49.88 or some kind of crap like that. But let's see if I can get this thing out of this box and show you what we got. They got this thing wedged in here. Okay, we're going to do this way now. I can't get it open one way. I'll get it open another. Okay, so this is an AT&T Hotspot. Little thing here. It comes with a card. I take this, throw it in the trash. It comes with so-called instruction manual, which is about a joke. Throw that off to the side. Here is the power cord that comes with it. I believe it is USB-C. It even comes with the power block. How's that for you? And it comes with the battery. If you look on this thing, there's an arrow right here. That arrow is to tell you how to take this off. And boy, let me tell you what, you think you're going to break this thing when you do this, by the way. I'm speaking from experience because I've already done this with one, and that's what made me think I need to show you guys how to do this. That is tough to get off there. Okay, so first thing we're going to want to do is we want to put a SIM card in it. Okay, So right there, it takes this little bitty SIM card. Now with the DAC SIM cards, these things break apart into smaller and smaller and smaller pieces, right? I think there's about 3 different adapters built into this one card here. So you can use this with about anything. So what we're going to do is we're going to break out that smallest one, and I'm going to stick it in this card. So first thing I'm going to do is to get the old man glasses out so I can see which way this thing goes. Okay, so it goes forward. You want the copper, the actual connection down. There's that. So I've got a battery that's somewhat charged. We're going to use that. I'm going to find that little arrow and that little notch right there. And I'm going to put this thing back together like so. We're going to turn it on. It says hello. It's thinking. Okay, there it is. So it's got 55% charge in it. Over here on this side over here, it's got a red X on the cellular. The reason it has that is because I'm using a DAC SIM card. DAC has their own APN. Okay, so I just noticed that on the new DAC cards, they didn't give us their APN. I'm not exactly sure what the story is with that, but I will get to the bottom of it. This old card has the APN on it. The APN, which is an access point name, you kind of have to understand what all this stuff does, access point names and stuff like that, because like with AT&T, it's broadband. So DAC, they're providing a cellular service for data plans, okay? So basically what they do is they buy up a bunch of data and they resell it this way. These guys are much easier to work with than AT&T. If you're trying to deal with AT&T on these data plans for these data collectors and stuff, it's almost impossible. That's the reason I'm working with them trying to get static SIM cards, is because I have just my wits end with AT&T trying to get static SIM cards. So most of the time people you're talking to don't understand why you need it, so therefore you don't need it. So they do. They get it. They understand data plans. So this DAC.com.ATTZ, and I'll probably put this in the notes or I'll put it somewhere. I doubt real seriously you'll be able to see it on that card. Maybe, maybe not. So what that is, an access point name would be like a number. So for us old folks, we all used to have dial-up internet, right? So you would dial a phone number to connect to a server to get to the internet. That's what this is. An access point name is nothing more than a phone number that you're dialing to access their internet servers. And you got to have this phone number in order to get to it. So when you buy one of these and you pop an AT&T card in it, it's automatically set for broadband. I've already seen it inside of here, and we'll look at it here in a second. But you're going to have to change the APN in here to work with this card. So take my word for it, your life will be a whole lot easier. I know it sounds a little bit difficult, but it's not very difficult. That's why I want to show you guys how to do it, okay? So here's what we're going to do. So I've got the SIM card. You can see a little hole. I got the SIM card in here, in this thing. Now what we need to do is we need to connect this to, in our case, we're going to connect it to the computer, okay? So we're going to take, and I'm going to come over here to the computer. Right now it should be connected to Surveying with Robert. Whoops, wrong button. Is it that one? Wi-Fi off, Wi-Fi on. Is it that one I'm looking for? That's the one I'm looking for. Okay. Turbo 1088, is that the one I'm looking at? If I hit these buttons on here, I go to settings, device info. Let me keep looking here. Wi-Fi info, Turbo 1088. Okay, so that is the name of this thing. So it's Turbo 1088. I'm going to say connect. Now it's asking me for a key. So the key is on here. Capital W capital D, 5, P, R, A, 2, looks like a capital U. Let's see if this actually works. Verifying and connecting. Connected, secured. Of course, there's not going to be any internet on it. Okay, so we're connected to this thing. So now then, let's open up Chrome. We are in here. So now, if I go, so there's 2 buttons here on top, right? So there's one to go through the menu, and there's one to select. Okay, so the one on the left, I believe, is the one to choose the menu. So I'm going to go into where it says Wi-Fi info. I am literally going to turn the 5 gigahertz off. The reason for that is because these GPS receivers, these R12s, only read 2.4 gigahertz. They don't read 5. So if you've got something 5 gigahertz you're trying to connect this thing with, you won't even see it. So that's another reason to get into this thing. Okay, so I'm going to look at let's see here if I can get it on the menu I want. I'm going to go to settings, and under settings, if I go all the way down to the bottom, it's going to say under more settings down at the bottom, it says admin website. That's what we're going to use to connect up to this receiver, to this Wi-Fi thing here, this hotspot. We're actually going to connect up to the web GUI that's actually inside of it. So that is, select it, http://hotspot.webui. So if I go to okay, now let's do the HTTP. Okay, it seemed like that took like 5 minutes. I don't know what the deal was, but it took forever for this thing to connect up. It's http://hotspot.webui, one word, and that is going to get you into it. So if we look, I'm trying to think, I think the password is ATT admin? Nope. Let me see here. I've got my other one over here. Let me see what it's supposed to be. It's right here on the back. Password's admin. Just admin. So let's just try admin. Okay, so admin was the password to get into it. So once I've got the password, now I need a new password. So it's wanting capitals and lowercase. So I'm going to do uppercase P, A, $, $WORD. And let's see here. I think it also wants a password, must be 8 characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Password 1. Let's see if that works. P A $, WORD 1. Save. Checking the web manager will reset the session. Okay, so it's going to tell me I got to log back in. Okay, so now it is password P A $, WORD 1. Enter. Okay. I'm going to tell it not to save. So now I am in the web GUI inside of this thing. So we use the hotspot.webui to get into it. We connected this to the computer. We used webui or hotspot.webui to connect this up to the computer so that we could get into the web GUI. So then we had to use admin for a password, and then we had to change our password, which I used in my case, uppercase P, lowercase a, $, word 1, number 1. So if I forget my password, I'll ask you guys what it was. So we're in. So now let's go to Wi-Fi, and we go to Wi-Fi Basics, and then so under Wi-Fi Basics, there's Wi-Fi Advanced Settings. Okay, connected devices, WPS. So let's go to Wi-Fi Basic Settings. Okay, so Wi-Fi SSID name, let's call it R12 base. So the SSID is the broadcast name of the Wi-Fi. Okay, so we're in the 2.4 gigahertz because I turned the 5.0 off. See here? So it's security code, Wi-Fi password is this crazy password. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Unless you're worried about somebody jacking your Wi-Fi while it's out there, that's the password. Okay. Save. Now then it's going to tell me by changing this, I'm going to have to reconnect up. Say okay. So all we're doing right now is we're just resetting the security stuff just to make it easier on us. The Wi-Fi has been disconnected. Okay, so let's go back. R12 base. There it is. Okay, so I called it R12 base. I'm not going to say connect but I am going to go in and call it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 0. Next. Now this works on TSC 7. You know, if you wanted to set this up, you just need a Windows laptop. So we're verifying and connecting. Okay, there it is. It's connected. So now then, I should be able to go into here and put in PA $, word 1, enter. Okay, so now we're back in here. So now I've got it set up. I know what it is. It's R12 base. It's password. Got all that set. Now let's go to settings. And let's look through the settings. You're going to see mobile settings, backup, restore, blah, blah, blah. Let's go to mobile settings. Okay, it's just like I told you. It says AT&T broadband is what it is in there. Okay, we need to add a new rule. So profile name is going to be DAC for Data Activation Center. The APN I was telling you about is dac.com.attz. Okay? There is no username, there is no password, there is no authentication. IPv4 and 6, that's fine. Hit save. Okay, now then we're going to hit that button right there because we want this one active. Okay? And we should be good to go. There you go. Look right there. We just got internet service. So now this thing should be working. As soon as I can figure out how to get out of here. Okay. Yep, we have AT&T service on it. Cool beans. Okay, so we are connected up to the MiFi. We have changed the username, the password. We've got it all set up. You want to be on 2.4 gigahertz, and I'll show you why in a second. So all that, yeah, is good. So now let's grab this, and we have the R12 sitting here, and I've got my TSC 7. So what I want to do is I want to go into, now this works whenever I'm creating the survey style. You should be able to get into the same spot, but I'm going to show you a little cheat here. We're going to go into Instrument, and let's see. Oh, it would help if I was connected to the receiver. So let's go to Instrument, GNSS Functions. Let's go into base mode. It's in rover mode right now. Give it a second to connect up to that receiver. There it is. Accept. Now let's go into instrument. Now if you go down to receiver settings, if you look down at the bottom, it says Wi-Fi. So we're going to go Wi-Fi. Okay. So right now, this is all, what you're seeing here under access point is how we access that receiver. This is not the Wi-Fi. You got to go to client to get to Wi-Fi. So what I'm going to do is I am going to delete that one. I'm going to tell it to scan, and we're looking for R12, right? R12 base. There it is. It says network security requires encryption key. Please enter a key for network. I'm going to say OK. Mine is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Accept. So I'm going to say connect down at the bottom. It should already be connecting, but and we are looking for an IP address. There it is. So I've got the IP address. So that means that this GPS unit is connected up to this receiver. Okay. So now we go in and we follow the bouncing ball, right? So like I showed you with the IBSS, or if you're going in and setting a survey style using the streaming manager, you can go cell phone based rover. So that is how you set up a MiFi with a data activation center SIM card, how to set all the settings and set everything up so it's simple, right? So first of all, you turn off the 5.0, you rename it to something that makes sense to you. In my case, I just call it R12 base, and put in a password that is a numeric password, and it seems like it connects up better. Alphanumeric seems, I don't know, especially with Verizon, alphanumeric really seems to confuse things. But with AT&T, you can use alphanumeric if you want to, but I just like numeric. So anyways, that's how you make this work. That's how you use a DAC card. Even if you don't use a DAC and you just use a standard AT&T or Verizon card, I still recommend you get in there and you reset the password and you reset that SSID. Just make it a little bit easier on you. Otherwise, every time you go to connect the thing, you got to look and see what the password is, because it's always some crazy W502X37. And was that a 0? And like what happened to me with this other one that I've got is I thought it was an I and it was a T. How's that for you? That like to drove me insane until I finally figured it out. So yeah, save yourself and your crew a little bit of time. Go in there and reset these settings. But this is a $50 MiFi at Walmart in the prepaid phone case down there. Turbo. What I do? I threw everything down here on the floor. Oh! What was it? A AT&T prepaid Turbo Hotspot 3 secure Wi-Fi on the go. There you go. That is how you make this thing work. So, if you get a hold of the people at DAC, tell them that Surveying with Robert sent you, and they will waive the activation fee on it. And you can pay yearly on the data plan. If you're just using a base-only data plan, I'm wanting to say, I mean, don't quote me on this. I'd talk to them to be sure, but I'm thinking like $200 a year, something like that maybe, is what's going to end up costing you. Break that down per month. So, you know, 10, 15 bucks a month to be able to go base to rover and be able to go, 10 miles from your base station. Pretty easy. But it's 10 miles that way and 10 miles that way, by the way. So that makes 20 miles. Don't go too far from your base and your rover, because you do have parts from in error. We've talked about that in some of the other videos. I don't want to get into it now. But just don't go 10 miles plenty. 20 miles at the absolute most from a base station. Don't ever go any further than that. Okay? Otherwise, you're going to regret it. So anyways, guys, hope this helps. I just want to put this together for you and get this out as a Tuesday tip. So as always, like and subscribe. That helps me a bunch. And man, as always, love you guys. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you guys in the next video. Appreciate it.